Hello, trading is closed on December 30th, 2015. We had a MEJT target from yesterday of 2075.09 and that printed immediately. I'm still waiting for a number of lower targets from this month. During the day, MEJT said ultimately lower prices would print. They did. Here's the target, no resistance at the target. Later on, it said lower prices would print. One of the advantages of understanding a system one uses is to realize that a sell signal in MEJT just means that there is a price target at a lower level. The software teaches one the system and informs one that the target was hit immediately, that there was no requirement under the system to go any lower, and in fact, when the sell signal was given, the target having been satisfied, this was a support level. At this point, the system doesn't give any signals. However, when we rallied far enough later on, the system said it was a false move and that prices would return to this line after this time, which they did. No new signals for tomorrow for MEJT. Let's review what's going on. Here's a daily chart. We had a number of DeMark sell signals yesterday that we discussed. We also have the Andrews pitchfork resistance. Well, here's a diamond on stilts. Here's your stilt. Here's your stilt. Here's a pretty obvious diamond. The pattern doesn't have to go to completion, but if it does, we have price targets of 2061 and change and 2048 and 1/2. There's also some support at the origin of the left stilt. This works reasonably well even when the stilts aren't in the same direction. Technically, there isn't any diamond on stilts pattern. But if you take the height of the diamond here in your Fibonacci ratios, you can come up with a pretty good target for the move. With that in mind, this is a stilt. This here is a big diamond. And if we get a stilt-like move down, you can take the height of the diamond and get some pretty exciting downside price targets. As a stop, here's your old high. We traded over that high, immediately rejected it. So we have a trader VIC 2B top with a stop loss trading back over the high of this bar. And trying to show you how low these targets go. This one's at about 2021 and that one's at 90.83.5, where there is an unfilled, I should say failed MEJT target at the same price, about 19.85. So if we start dropping here, we look for 19.85. There is some hope for a recovery here because here's a TDST line and there is some support. But the support doesn't have to hold. Let's take a look at some longer term charts. I know very little about Elliott wave theory. All I know is I look at what other people have to say and I get different answers all the time. I have one very proficient Elliott wave man who says that's wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to have wave 5 up to new highs. I have one other proficient Elliott wave man who considers this a 3-wave pattern, with this being wave C, which hasn't completed yet. Anything's possible, but I don't think those counts allow for this impulsive wave down. When you have a bull market and there's an impulsive wave down, only two things can cause it. One is an A wave of an ABC. If that's A, the only possible C wave would be this one. It looks kind of funny to me for this to complete the correction, but I guess nothing's impossible. If that's your ABC, this wave up should be impulsive, and it sure looks pretty overlapping to me. I'd like to point out that here's your stilt, here's your stilt, stilt up, you take your 61.8 and there is your top. So we've hit our price projection. That's not the chart I want. If you take this point here and this point here and connect them, you'll see we hit that trend line right over here, tried to recover and couldn't. As far as I'm concerned, a move like this comes in a third wave of some degree unless proven otherwise. If that's true, then this is probably wave 4. We have an ending diagonal triangle for wave 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Typically when you have an impulsive third wave like this, wave 5 truncates and the recovery wave stops just short of the old high. That seems to be what's going on here. If so, we have an A, a B, and 3 waves up. That might be all we get for C. I'm looking for tomorrow's action to be quite critical. Last year's closing price was $20.58 and change. If we close under it, we have a Trader Vic 2B top on the yearly chart. It's a major sell signal with a stop over this year's high. If we trade just about 3 points under today's close, we will close negative for this week. And typically when you close negative in the week between Christmas and New Year's, it has very ominous implications for the upcoming year. There's nothing requiring this pattern to go to completion, but I think tomorrow's action is critical, and if this drop continues, and I think there's a very high chance it will, that we get a stilt-like move down, confirming what I've been saying, that the high for this bull is in, and we're in for much, much lower prices. If that does not happen, which is always possible, I think the lower prices are coming anyway, but I'll have to reassess the situation to see if we get something else of importance happening first. That's not what I think will happen, though, and that's today's call.